In this video, we're going to be looking at stat. It's going to be quite useful. So as I was going through a lot of these other components, I'm like, okay, yeah, you need that. But this one actually is really interesting, and I hope you all find it just as interesting as I did. So we're going to look at the docs, read about it, see the kind of things we could do, and then it looks like we're going to be doing some examples here. So let's get to the docs. So we see it says stat. As the name implies, the stat component is used to display some statistics. We see the import, we're getting an awful lot that we could do with it. So let's see what we can do with it. The basic usage right here is that we have the stat on the outside, or the most parent component. We have the label, collected fees, is represented right up here. The stat number right here. And then we have a stat helper text. And I think that is important because the stat helper text in this case is showing between February 12th and February 28th. Say we're doing things like cryptocurrency or stocks or salaries or some kind of change in money value, something like that. You're going to want to show over time how did things change. And so that don't neglect that help text. It's not like an input where you have, like first name or name. You may not need some helper text underneath there for the user. But when you're dealing with numbers and stuff like this, it's always nice to err on the side of more details, the better, especially when you're dealing with investments, dollars, amounts, stuff like that. So we can see we have indicators as well. So just like the example above, we have the helper text, but we have in here the stat arrow, which is nested in here, and see it's closing. So you're not wrapping the text in it, you're putting it beforehand. And we have a green arrow going up showing that, we have whatever cent is 345,000 of them, but clicks overall is down 9.05%. And so these are identical right here. So this type is increase. So keep that in mind. When you're slapping this in here, stat arrow, you want to focus on the type. It's either going to be an increase or a decrease. And if there's not a value, or you may not care about it, you don't have to include this arrow. It's just nice extra visualizations to show your end user. And then we see a bunch of props right here. So this doesn't have a lot going on with it. So let's just get to some coding examples and see what kind of stuff we could come up with together. In this first example, what we're going to do is just show you how to use the stat component and all the other components that support it. And I think it's just for this one, just easier to show than it is to talk about it. So let's get to coding. So this is how it formats out now. We are going to wrap everything in the stat parent component here. And then we could do stuff like add a label on in. So we could have the, kind of the title. What is this stat representing? What's this information representing here? And then we have the stat number, which formats the number here in case it's not apparent. The $375,000 for a university president. And then that's, the stat help text is just showing from like what year. You could do like month. You could add whatever you want in the help text. Just make sure that it gives additional information and doesn't repeat any information that's already shown in the label and the number as well. And so what we're going to do in the next section is we're going to keep this, but we're going to add to it actually. And I'm going to show you that there's these cool things called stat arrows to show you the differences in numbers, percentages, all that other kinds of stuff. So I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. And so what we're going to do is add in some of the stat arrows, and I'm just going to add them next to the stat help text, and it should be a pretty quick example. And we see that we have these arrows coming up now, and this is indicating obviously there has been an increase. So this is up 15% from what? I don't know. I'm just adding this in to show them. And if I wanted to come here and do a decrease, it would look like that. So if you're making an application that's doing the, price tracking of stocks or cryptocurrency or something along those lines, little stuff like this would help out considerably and add a lot of meaning to your numbers, where you just wouldn't want to do this with CSS if you could just whip something up like this quickly. So that is stat in a nutshell. And if you like what I'm doing, like, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video.